Okay, with that being said, we are going to continue with our next speaker for today. Now, you guys who are tuning in right now, we are going to be talking about understanding the e-commerce trend that affects wholesale distribution and what you can do to ride on the trend to propel the growth of your B2B business. And of course, we're going to be learning about Boostorder and see how we can help traditional manufacturers and wholesale distributors to continue to stay relevant, sustain growth, and achieve significant order-to-cash efficiencies improvement by digitally transforming into connected B2B businesses. Joining me on screen now, we have the CEO of Boostorder, TK Chuah. Hi, Chuah. Oh, I think there's a little lag over there. That's okay. Hey, Chuah, if you can hear me right now, come on screen right now. I think there is a little technical issue here. It seems like we've been plagued with it all day today, but that's okay. Okay, so in the meantime, while we wait for Chuah to join us back here on screen, let me just tell you a little bit about our programs right here. We have recently launched a Digital Accelerator program, which is a platform for your business digitalization. Now, all you have to do is register at dx.com.my to access your business digital needs and links to guidance, capacity building programs, as well as incentives. And on top of that, if you'd like to be part of our 100 Go Digital community on Facebook for the latest news, events, knowledge, ideas, information, the whole 9 yards, just head on over to our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/groups/100 Go Digital. One more time, that is facebook.com/groups/100 Go Digital. Or to simplify the whole process, just go on the Facebook and look for 100 Go Digital. That works as well. And additionally, we also have digital funds available for you. Now, take advantage on kickstarting your digital journey and adopt digitalization within your business. We've got 2 grants here. The first being the SME Business Digitalization Grant, or better known as SBDG, which encourages SME to adopt digitalization in their business operations. And the government will actually provide each company with a 50% matching grant up to 5,000 for the subscription of approved digital services. And the second being the Smart Automation Grant, which is valid for SMEs and mid-tier companies in the service sector. Now, each successful application will receive up to 50% of the total project cost, subject to a ceiling limit of 200,000 ringgit, or whichever is the lowest through this matching grant. More information about both grants on our website, mdec.my. Hi, Chuah, you're back.
Hi, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I know your screen actually had a little malfunction there just now. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're moving all good right now. Do you need help setting up your screen?
I think I'm good. Do I proceed to do screen sharing now? Or?
Yes, you can share your screen, and whenever you're ready, you can take it away. You have 40 minutes in total, so 30 minutes for your presentation, and the last 10, I'll be here to help you with your Q&A. So guys, once again, if you have questions, leave them in the Q&A box. Chuah, whenever you're ready, the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Laureen. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is TK. Can call me Chuah. I'm from a company called Boostorder. All right. So today, my topic of sharing is about connected B2B businesses, and as a B2B centric business, right? So how or what you can do to respond to the megatrends of e-commerce. Okay. All right. So a quick introduction of where we come from. So Boostorder is a sales digitalization solutions focusing on B2B centric businesses. We focus on helping brand manufacturers or distributors to use technology, right, to digitize your sales channels so that you are able to get closer to your customer, both online and offline. Okay. So let me start by sharing by, let's look at the 5 megatrends that is really happening around us at this point in time, right? On-demand, personalizations, there's a change of demographics, competitions is coming from everywhere, and last but not least, our life and market generally has moved faster and faster. I'll go into each and every topic of this right now. So let's start by looking at on-demand. Okay, whenever people heard of like on-demand, probably the first thing that come to their head is Astro on-demand, right? Because that's kudos to Astro for doing such a good job in popularizing this terminology. So what Astro does in Astro On Demand essentially is you can now watch movie anytime, anywhere that you want, right? So that's what we mean by Astro On Demand or media on demand. Secondly, companies that everybody is very familiar with, Grab, Uber. So what Grab and Uber has done is essentially have made transportation on demand. And last but not least, you do have like news consumption, right? Where gone are the day where you have to wait every morning 7:30 for a delivery boy to deliver a paper to your home. That was like 10, 20 years ago. But nowadays you just have to open your laptop, tablets, and start consuming news, right, on the device of your choice. So all these are really what we mean by on-demand economy, and all these things that is enabled, right, to be on demand, allow you to consume all these products or services anytime, anywhere. They tend to have a bit more information, right? Like you go to watch Astro On Demand, you will see that even tell you what the actress, what's the storyline. If you are calling cars using Grabs, you will know the name of the drivers. You will also know the number plates of the cars, etc., etc. You have a lot of choices, yeah. So you can actually like a lot of people at your service, right? And then you have a lot of movies that you can browse. You can actually just watch one. You don't have to watch the entire thing. That's what we mean by a la carte. And to really summarize, right, the on-demand economy has enabled everything to be extremely flexible. So that's what's happening now, right? Everything become more and more on demand. Secondly, it's the mega trend of personalizations. If you actually have bought things from the internet before, right, which I believe everybody have, you would see that almost every website have this thing called customers who viewed this also viewed the other products. So this is actually one form of personalizations. We're harnessing the big data and they're trying to show you, right, potentially these are the things that you may be interested in as well. The other thing that happened to us every day, right? If you are driving to work, almost everybody use Waze. And 8:30, 7:30, when you open up Waze, the first thing that Waze will pop out and ask you is that, good morning, are you on your way to work? Right? So if you actually open Waze at 5:30 or 6, then Waze will actually ask you, good evening, are you on your way back to home? So technology, right? So it kind of recognizes your traveling patterns and your time, your road, and it will try to personalize. And instead of you do a lot of clickings, it will attempt to basically present you with the most relevant information. The last example of personalization would be for somebody who actually drive as a Uber or Grab drivers. You are able to specify the destination that you want to go to, and Uber or Grab will attempt to match you with customers that will actually lead you to where you want to. So these are really all forms of personalizations. Third thing that is really happening now is there's more and more young people getting into business, be it working as a professionals or taking over businesses from the elder generations, right? So all these things, it means that young people have different exposures, and we are expecting to be more, to be faster, to be more on demand, to be more flexible. And it means that customer expectations are changing with a different set of demographics coming into the workforce. So you have here also like all these things, all these websites, Alibaba, Lazada. So it used to be if you actually are a manufacturers of a furnitures, right? Or let's say you distribute some foods, some nuts. Yeah. So your competitors probably is another competitors of another distributors of a product of a similar natures. But with things like Alibaba, Lazada, Shopee, right? So now your competitor is actually coming from everywhere, right? It could be just a overseas sellers. It could be somebody who just out of nowhere, right? Also trying to sell similar things or things that is of the similar categories. And they have these channels, right? That can just beat you on price, beat you on promotions and all kinds of things. So the definition of competition has to be rethought because of all kinds of the availability of the technology. The other example are going to be like accommodations. Of course, COVID-19, then people are traveling less. But prior to that, right? So if you actually travel, hotels used to think that their competitor is another hotel chains. Hilton's think that their competitor are Starwood, their competitor are Marriott, etc., etc. But a few years ago, right, this startup called Airbnb appeared from nowhere, right, and just take over the world, right? Like at first, people are like wondering, hey, why would you even want rent your room to strangers? It's the same like, why would you want to use your car to pick up another strangers? That's Grab, that's Uber, right? So similarly, Airbnb has appeared and it has disrupted the travel accommodation market and totally redefined what competition means for any hotel chains. So last but not least is about speed of things, right? So this is just like an example. So in this example, so what we are saying is that the number of years, right, it takes for products or services to reach a critical milestones called 50 million users. So airlines take it took 68 years, right, for 50 million people to be able to have the opportunity to use airline as a means of transportations. And as you actually scroll to the right, yeah, so television takes 22 years and ATM machines take 18 years, yeah. But it doesn't stop there, right? With all these latest and greatest inventions, computers, cell phone, internet, and you can see like Facebook take 3 years. It took Facebook 3 years to reach 50 million users, right? Versus airplane that takes 68 years. And my favorite example here is going to be Pokemon, right? Pokemon take only 19 days to hit 50 million users. So it just shows that trends come and go. It's faster. Everything seems to move faster now with all this availability of the technology. Yeah. And just to quickly recap, right? You have like things become more and more on demand. People want it to be more personalized. Yeah. You have more young people going to the job markets because of technology. We have to rethink as a business, where competition is. It's no longer just somebody who is doing the same thing like what you're doing. They can be from anywhere. And market seems to be moving really, really fast with trends taking off and subsiding in a shorter amount of time. So let's take a step back, right, and look at what about like if you are in a B2B centric businesses, right? You are manufacturers, you are brand, you are distributors. How does a life look like, right, for B2B centric businesses? It's still very much very traditional. Retailers have to go through a salesperson, talking to the distributors, checking for price, checking for stocks, checking for discounts, just to have it orders captured. Yeah. So and then you have like the fulfillment part of it where you're gonna have all this complexity again, payment, a lot of ping ponging, and last but not least, right, you're gonna handle return. Again, extremely inconvenience, extremely manual, extremely multiple touch points. And all this actually contributes to potentially it will take impact on your sales because customer experience are not great. You are relying on labor, human, to get that level of coverage. It's extremely inefficient. It is error prone, which lead to escalation in operating costs. And there's just no data, right? Like it's all hunch, it's all hearsay, right? And decisions are made not using data. And you just basically then map that to things like the 5 mega trends. It's totally not on demand, right? Things have to move very manual. Personalization is extremely difficult. In fact, personalization only happens at the salesperson angles where this salesperson here has like a mega computers, right? Where he actually knows what each buyer needs. Younger people who want things to be more on demand is just not going to be able to have it accomplished in a typical operating model like this. Well, if you have a competition coming in from anywhere, right? So there could be a marketplace somewhere. If you are a distributors, okay, there's just so many marketplaces now. So how can you actually respond to those? Because buyers, they want more on demand. They want more personalized. They probably will move away. They will actually go to those marketplaces. So do you have a similar offering, right, that you can actually compete with competitors on speed and on choices, right? And last but not least, market velocity, right? So think of like Pokemon. So when you have Pokemon trend coming up, and as a distributor, you decide that you want to distribute or you want to sell something that is of Pokemon theme, but your supply chain is so rigid, right? So how can you even tap on that? Because it only takes 19 days, right, for 50 million users to start familiar with Pokemon, and when they want to buy it, and you are just not being able to respond fast enough. So it just creates a lot of challenges, and there's just a lot of room of improvements. So this happens across multiple industries. It's not only FMCGs, it's happening across industries, and we specializes and we have been helping, right, more than 200 plus distributors and manufacturers across Malaysia digitalizing their networks, right? And what we have come to the realization is that a lot of SMEs, distributors, manufacturers, they have always been also talking about digitizing their companies and their operation. But unfortunately, they have primarily been looking at the back end, right? They have been looking at upgrading their ERPs, buying accounting systems, but not so much on the front end and not so much on the sales, where this is the part that actually gives them the biggest return of investment. So how do we think about digitalizing a B2B businesses, right? And the answer lies in adding the element of internet in your B2B businesses. And how do we do that? By looking at a few angles, right? How do you bring your product online, right? How do you bring your customer online, right? And in B2B businesses, you have to bring your team online as well, because bringing your product and customer online is not enough, because B2B tend to be more complex, relationship tends to go deeper. So that's why you need to involve your team. Only when you have your product and your customers and your team online, then you are able to manage your business online and being able to transform to become a true connected B2B business. So what do we mean by bringing product and customer online, right? So think of like if you use the old way of doing businesses, you have catalogs, pricing, inventory, everything here on this stack of papers. And because of that, you have to impose all kinds of constraints in how you do business, right? You need to have a minimum order quantity. You cannot mix your products too complicated because everything is printed on paper, right? And then there's just way too much touch point. So there's a need to have your own private portals, right? To be able to let your customers who want to interact with you online have that avenue. And that is our first product module. We call it Boostorder Direct, which essentially will help you to bring your product and customer online. It is actually your private B2B portals. It is a combination of a portal and apps. And the app is native apps. What it means is that it's an app that can function without internet. So by doing this, your customer can interact with you anywhere, anytime using the device that they like or they prefer. Right. Secondly, right, team. So if you have a sales team, I guess a lot of the sales team are today still operating based on WhatsApp. And what it means is that they are not able to get the information they need on real time, right? So they will be like, delayed, is not accessible, its manual is rigid, and you know, if you ask them, hey, what's this customer preference is, okay, some of the very experienced salesperson, they may have it, but a lot of it will just don't have that information. They will have to refer back to their office. And what we have an offering here is actually a mobility solution. Basically, we call it Boostorder Wrap. Really, it is a Salesforce automations that will bring your salesperson online. And both of these modules, they are interconnected. Basically, whenever an order is being placed by a sales rep, it appears in the direct and vice versa. So when you have, what about the management, right? If you actually operate based on the old way, again, compilation of data, it's very manual, and you have to rely on your, probably your admin to help you to compile the data. And we have seen that most of the companies, right, I'm not saying they are flying like blind, but they are partially blind because they are not able to make a very timely decision. And that's where our solution come in, where we have two components here. We call it Boostorder Sync. So Boostorder Sync is a connectors, or we call it connectors in more technical terms, that we develop in-house. So Boostorder Sync is able to integrate with almost all the accounting systems in Malaysia, AutoCount, SQL, Q&E, UBS, you name it, right? We integrate with all the way from basic accounting systems all the way to major ERP like SAP, Microsoft Navision, Dynamics, Sage 300s, etc., right? So the integration is extremely full-blown. So by having this integration, what it means is that your information flow extremely seamlessly from your backend to your salesperson and to your customer as well, right? Your inventory, you just have to update in one place and then it will get reflected everywhere. Now, with all this digitalization, then we have an offering. We call it Boostorder Insights, which will give you a real-time visibility into what is happening in your business. And that's what we mean by providing you with data automation and business analytics that help you to grow your business. So let's take a step back and look at one of the example use case. We have two of our clients here. Their name is Bagus and Rightway. They are B2B centric businesses. So Bagus is a trophy manufacturer. They also distribute trophies themselves in both domestically, Malaysia, and also to export to overseas. and Rightway is apparel distributors, and they sell to a lot of premium and gifts retail. So we have deployed for them basically all the modules. So retailers of all these premium and gifts are able to place order themselves. Salesperson of Bagos and Rightway are equipped with mobile apps. We connect to their accounting systems. One of them is using SQL. The other one is using Master. We have it connected, full blown, and we give them real-time analytics. And by having a set of a solution like this, right, they are able to respond to market faster, right? So basically, when there's a trend, right, they are able to very quickly create new products and offerings on the back end, and they are able to straight away push it to their clients, and they push it to the salesperson, and they can just run it in the next hours, right? That's what we buy, enabling them to be more responsive to the market. In terms of competition, they are able to outmaneuver. They can actually have a new offering. They can tweak their price very quickly. They are able to create a lot of promotion very quickly as well. And it's very appealing, right, to basically a younger generation of retailers, especially micro sellers. They are also able to personalize their offering because one of the important things about B2B commerce is actually the ability to price your products properly, because every retailers, you may actually price them differently. So our system is able to allow you to configure it to the point where every customer's, every product is of different pricing, right? And by doing that, it's highly personalized and it makes the whole experience extremely on demand for their retail customers, for their salesperson, and for their office admin as well. So I'm going to do a really quick feature demo here, right? So basically, if I were to jump in a bit more, in order to cover a complete B2B ecosystems, starting from route planning, you may have your salesperson doing survey, collecting some information, able to take orders. You need to handle the fulfillment. You need to perform collection. Basically, it means payment, right? You need to handle return. And last but not least, right, you may need to do a bit of counting of maybe your banner, your point of sales materials, or potentially some of the stocks that you have, right? So this is actually how the app actually look like. I'm going to zoom in a bit more. So this is actually our so-called a gallery view. So we work with one of the apparel to basically allow your salesperson to be able to capture order very easily. We have another view here, which allows people, especially retailers or even salesperson, right, to be able to very quickly capture the orders. And it was designed like this because in wholesale trade, typically what people do is that they just like want to buy like 100 pieces here, 200 pieces there, So we need it to be designed that way. And last but not least, we also have a module that basically allows you to do extremely complex trade models. You are able to do accounting and then do ordering at the same time. We have seen this extremely relevant, be it you are doing consignment or you are doing maybe you have to count and then like bill your customers at the same time. Right? So this single view allow you to go to a particular customer's perform account, and then you can even configure it to the point where it automatically will trigger, right? Based on the counting of the stocks, this is the amount of orders that you actually have to place. Yeah. So these are basically the different ordering modules that we have, fully cater for almost all the different kind of trade models, right? Consignment, outright, cash, credit. Yeah. So by doing this, right, we have been able to help our clients basically to reach out more to basically all the micro sellers because Rightway and Bagos, by using a system like this, they are able to reach out to sellers that doesn't used to be their customer because the volume is not high. But now using a self-service model and even like engaging their salesperson in a very close manner, so they are able to do this, right? They can actually create promo and push out. They can do a more complicated trade models. It used to be they can only sell, right? But now they can do consignment. They can do a different billing scheme. They can negotiate, and all the data is actually available on their hand. And we also have like a point and reward, which allows as people buy, then they can actually get more point systems, by ordering through this kind of systems. So all this actually help them to grow their revenue, right? And also because of the automation, we have seen at least 30 to 50% consistent reduction, right, in admin costs because everything is so automated, right? Everything is so available. So you actually don't really need an army of people to do a big business because of all this automation. Okay. The other quick demo that I'm going to do here is this feature called collection, which I will attempt to show, right, how the apps look like. So yeah, right. So you are looking at like my handphone here. So I'm going to show like this is the salesperson app. Okay. Here we have this thing called payment. So one of the thing about B2B payment is it tend to be quite complex, right? So say I'm a salesperson and I need to collect payment from my customers. So when I visit this customer called MHHD, right, I can see that how much money they owing me and how much credit note that they have as well, right? So I can simply tick to say that this is the payment that I want to collect customers, and maybe he can use the credit note to knock it off. And then I can basically collect a payment here, probably through check. This auto compute what's the amount that you have to collect from, and you've got to take a photo of the check. Okay, and then you can actually just enter the check number. Oops. Just a bit more time. Okay, add payment. Yep. Oops, I think something's wrong on my phone. So it's okay. So anyway, so this is how the app looks like when it comes to collection. The other thing is that as collection are being performed, as a decision makers, right, you can actually monitor all this information through a real-time dashboard. Example here is actually you are able to know, right? These are all your different customers. These are all your different salesperson, and this is the amount of collection that they have, right, with them currently. So I can just click on, like, for example, Lee here. I can see that he has collected a total of almost like 27,000 of check and cash. And these are the companies, and this is the time that he has collected. And you can see that across, right, starting from, maybe he works like at midnight, right, all the way to 6 o'clock, right? That's where a lot of collection are being done. Okay. The other thing is also you are able to monitor your salesperson. If you can actually get them to perform the check-in. You can actually find out from a month to week to a specific days, right? And how is their travel pattern, right? Like, for example, I can just try to click on Bobby on a very specific days. Okay. Oops. He has got 0 check-in, right? That's why there's nothing. And on January 2nd, you can see that he has, out of the 20 planned visits, he has visited 20 places. And this is how the movement of Bobby. Yeah. And if you see like, hey, why is there like no check-in? You can also see like, apparently Bobby has missed all these places, right? Oh, because it was a public holiday. Okay. Right. So this is my last slide. So really, when it comes to digitalizing a B2B businesses versus a B2C, we feel like these are the few considerations. In terms of a B2B systems, the catalogs tend to be more complicated, right? Because you have to cater for pricing for different customers. Maybe you have a lot of products, but you only sell certain products to certain customers. And you also may actually be package them, right, in a more complicated manner. Yeah. In a B2B, if you're a B2B, right, probably you will understand what it means, FOB and CIF. So it means that you have to cater for a cost, insurance, and freight shippings. Because you may be shipping to East Malaysia, you may be shipping to overseas. The calculation of it is actually not easy, right? So this automation must be factored in as part of the platform capabilities. You also may be calculating based on the height, width, or length, or you may be calculating it based on the weight. You may be selling it based on outright credit, or you may be selling it based on outright cash. You may be doing consignment. If you actually want to allow your customer to self-order, right, it's not really order per se. What we suggest is really think of it as a self-service instead of orders. Because in B2B, right, ordering is only the first steps. You do have like things like invoices, credit notes. They will be doing deferred payments, and things like that, right? The other question that probably you want to think about is also the marketplace versus private portals. we think that marketplace is actually really good at helping you to gain your visibilities. But when it comes to repeat orders, because of B2B, sometimes you are packaging your trade deal and your trade term very differently. You may consider want to bring that over to your private portal, so then you actually continue to own all the data and all the relationship as well. Last but not least is also the integration to the ERP. It's actually very important because B2B products still tend to be more complicated, pricing tend to be more complicated. You want to manage all this information in one place. You don't want to like manage them in two different places. So having the integration will help to make sure that you have less chances of basically sending the wrong information. Yeah, and also have to factor in both the customers and also the team. Okay, so that's all from me. I don't know whether I've run out of time. You feel free to download the deck at this URL, godigital.boostorder.com, or feel free to reach out to me or my colleagues if you want to learn more about how to digitize and make your B2B business to be a connected B2B business, right?
All right, super. Thank you, TK. You're actually ahead of time by about 20 minutes. Yeah, you're actually ahead of time. You're not running out of time, but you're ahead of time. So that means more time for questions. You guys, if you're tuning into this right now, send as many questions as you want because we have 20 minutes to kill here. Our first question comes from Roya. Now, Roya would like to know, does it mean that every customer will also need to download this app?
Yeah, so basically what we have is the app is Boostorder, right? And then when you go into Boostorder, and then that's where your company is, right? We have this as a public offering with the option to private label it if you want, right? It can be your own branded apps if you want, right? But we typically, it depends on the nature of business. So we do have people we do help people to private label, but most basically start with using Boostorder app because it actually gives a better, it's a lower cost to start that way.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is from Rajiv. Now, Rajiv would like to know, how do you manage corruption and purchasing controls like PO and so forth?
How do I manage PO and what's the next one?
How do you manage corruption and purchasing controls like PO and so forth?
Corruption. Do I hear right? Okay.
Yeah, corruption.
So what this does is actually it makes the entire purchase and payment process extremely transparent, right? So because now all the price are being controlled in the back end, yeah, in the ERP systems, and all the pre-negotiated trade terms and pricing are controlled here, and it's made available in the salesperson side and also to the customers. So I guess going along that thinking process, it means that there's less opportunity to do hanky-panky things, right? That's one, right? Secondly, when it comes to PO, right? So it really depends on the company. So we have customers, right? Because it is actually a sell-side solutions. So basically, like Bagus, Rightway, they are distributors. So instead of asking the retailer to send the PO, they will just ask them to go to these platforms and then just punch in, right, what you want to buy, yeah, and that eliminate that process. We do have customers, probably a larger retail chain, who wants to go through a proper PO process. We are able to basically integrate into the retailer purchasing systems and pull out this, right? And straight away give them the PO. So that's how we do it. So it really depends on the scale of operation that we are talking about. We have done both models.
Okay, thank you. Now, Rajiv, I hope that answers your question, but perhaps next time if you'd like to elaborate a little bit more, feel free to do that. And guys, keep your questions coming. We have quite a bit of time to kill here. So as many questions as you like, anything under the sun regarding TK's presentation here. Now, this next one just came in. It's from Mei Chun. Now, Mei Chun would like to know, how much does the full system cost per annum?
Yeah, so this is a software as a service, and it actually is broken down by modules. Yeah, so it really depends on, for example, how complex is the setup. Are you using a very basic accounting systems, or you are using a complex ERP, right? How many retailers do you have? How many active retailers do you have? How many salesperson do you have, right? The price range quite big, right? From low thousands to hundreds of thousands, right? So it really depends on the complexity.
Okay. So we don't have any more questions for now. Let's just give them. Oh, Machen says thank you, by the way. Oh, and as I said, that we have no more questions. Another one just came in. Okay, so this one is from Sakura Abdul Rahman. Lovely name, by the way. All right, so the question is, hi, CK. TK, by the way, it's TK, not CK. So that's okay. Can you advise which ERP we can integrate for now? Estimated cost for integrating with other new ERPs, except those in the market, I think the question is not complete. So let's give Sakura a little bit of time here to just refine that question. In the meantime, TK, how has the pandemic been treating you?
Great. I mean, personally, of course, reduce travel, stay less mobile in-house. From a business standpoint, I think people probably understand and have more urgency to digitalize their businesses because we are in a market of B2B centric business, which you can say it is kind of like the backbone of Malaysia, right? It's trade, right? Buy, sell. And so, and it has always been very traditional. It gives us the opportunity to go in and to explore further, right, on how to use digitals to make the business more agile and more competitive, right? So yeah, in a nutshell, it's been pretty good, right?
I'm not really sure we could call it an opportunity, because I think at this point it's kind of like do or die. We don't really have a choice, like we have to, if we want to survive, we have to change. So I guess it depends on how you see it. But I definitely agree with you on many other things. Okay, so Sakura actually refined the question already, so let me read that one more time. Can you advise which ERP we can integrate for now? Estimated cost of integration with other new ERP, except for those in the market like in-house built ERP.
Yeah, so I'll answer that question in two parts. So this is a not comprehensive list, right? This is a bit outdated, right? Of the so-called accounting systems and ERP that are pre-integrated with. Yeah, so by saying pre-integrated, it means that it is going to be a drop-in, right? Once we drop in our softwares, information start to flow. Okay, so we have developed the software in a way that actually it is quite modular. We have typically we can integrate with any ERP in less than a month, right? From our experience. So if it is in-house, then it means that we probably have to sit down and have a bit more chat on how things works and explore further, right? So that's what it is. But yes, we have done one project before for in-house projects. Yeah, so we definitely have that experience and the know-how, right, to do that. Okay, in terms of cost, I guess it really depends again, right? A lot of factors, right? How comprehensive, how deep, or how detailed, right? Do you want integration to be, or maybe it's a simple one, right? So it really goes back to the business needs, and obviously we can always phase it out. And yeah, there's also all kind of grants now, smart automations, right? We are technology solution providers, so we can always look into that angle.
And speaking of grants, I'll actually talk to you guys about that a little bit later on after this presentation. Now, our next question is, hi, Chuah. Thanks for your brief info. Can I equate your software as CRM software? And if yes, what is your strong selling point in comparison against other CRM software?
Yeah, so we get this question a lot, actually, right? Yeah, but we are actually not a CRM. We have a bit or the shadow of a CRM, I'll call it that way. So really, probably let me take a step back. Right? So CRM, typically what CRM does is you have all the contacts of your clients, that's one. And number two, right, then you will get your salesperson to record their activities and all the discussion, right, all the deals, right, that you have with your prospects and your clients, okay? And that's it, that's what CRM is, right? So we have the product information, we have the customer informations. We do not have those deals features, right? Yeah, you don't have that diary thing, right? You go to talk to customers and, oh, today, 11th of August, I meet with Lauren, and then what Lauren wants, right? Yeah, we just don't have that, right? So that's why in that essence, we are not like a full-blown CRM. we can integrate with CRM, right? In fact, we have integrated with one CRM. I forgot what the name is. Yeah, so that then it's very seamless. So basically, as a salesperson, when I go out, I will use CRM to create the records of my customers, and I start to write the diaries, right? So what are the things that I talk to? And if the customers want to order, then that's where it will go over to our apps. It starts to basically capture all these products and generate quotation on the fly, right? So that's how our system actually interact with CRM. Yeah. So what is my strong point? Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, so I guess we go, I wouldn't say strong point or weak point or how, it's just a bit different. We really go deep in basically the product configuration, right? Because B2B, right, you don't just sell like one thing. You could be like, this product has multiple price point, different packing. Yeah, for example, if you're selling like Coke, you can buy like a bottles, a pack, a box, a crate, right? And different packaging, we have different sizes, and you may have like a Chinese New Year SKU, some festival SKU, right? So all these things. So that's where our system is able to handle all these configurations. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that answered the question.
It was very, very detailed. I'm pretty sure it did. Okay. So this next one is from Kenny here. Guys, once again, keep these questions coming because we love answering questions. This one's from Kenny. Kenny would like to know, can your product integrate with Courier service tracking systems? And will our customers be able to track it under your system as well? Okay, there's 3 questions here. Okay, so that was first 2. And finally, will you be able to elaborate more on your fulfillment process and how does it reflect in the system?
See. Okay, so for courier service tracking, we are in the process, or rather we will most likely do it to integrate with Easy Parcels. So you go to Easy Parcels and then it goes to all the courier, right? Again, it depends on the nature of the businesses that you are dealing with, right? So if you are selling like apparel, then yeah, you can go through like a shipping aggregators like Easy Parcels. But if you're selling something more like heavy, right, which you need like a truckload, yeah, then I think that one is a totally different thing. Yeah, so we do not have direct integration to courier like FedEx, UPS, those kind. Anyway, yeah, so we are going to leverage on Easy Parcel as a form of integration at this point of time. But having said that, we do not eliminate, right? So if there are customers that come and we discuss and it turned out that there's a big need, we can actually look in building all this capability into our platform. That's how we have grown over the past years, right? Like by talking to customers and really understand their need and try to build it according to that and make it a standard modules. So that's totally possible. Okay, so yeah, can they track it? Yes, they can. In fact, yeah, logistic is complex, right? So you have like couriers and then you have like all this on the ground thing. We integrate with another form of system. We call it TMS, Transport Management Systems, which essentially is a artificial intelligence based, right, route planning system. Because if you are distributors, you cover like an areas, you have like 10 trucks and you are handling like 500 orders every day. So that itself become a problem. It's really a problem. Somebody got to sit there and do the route planning. So we work with TMS systems to automate the route planning, and we are able to get back all these real-time route informations, and it shows in the app of the salesman. It shows in the app of the customer as well. And I guess it kind of go to the third question, elaboration on the fulfillment processes. Yeah, so when somebody actually places an order, okay, it goes into the ERP systems, right? So if it is B2B, then you have to go through a few process, okay, before the thing get shipped out. Okay, you have credit check. So okay, we go a bit deeper, right? Sales order, you go to delivery orders, you go to invoices. So every state change, it can be reflected back to the salesperson app or to the customer app, so that they know that my order is being confirmed, my order is already being picked up, right? And when you actually load these goods, right, to the trucks, and then they will see that in the apps, oh, my orders is now on my way to me. Yeah. So by having this integration to the ERP systems, and we map out the workflow of your business, then all this information can be relayed, right, back and forth. Yeah. from the back end to the salesperson to the customers, right? Because that is spot on. That is actually one of the biggest problems for a lot of B2B businesses, where customers, they do not know what is happening to my orders. And then they will ask the salesman. And the salesperson has got no idea as well. They have to ask office, right? So this actually solves the problems by having information flow in a more seamless manner, right, across multiple parties. Yeah. All right. So, all right, long answer.
I thought it was necessary. I thought it was necessary because we had 3 different questions here. Okay, so that's done. TK, just give me a second here. I need to step off screen just for a tiny 1-2 seconds because I've got the most minuscule itch on my nose and I feel that it's going to be the weirdest thing if I scratch it on camera. So just let me zoom out here for a little bit. Oh gosh. Okay. All right, that's fine. Thank you so much for that. Don't mind that at all. It happens, I guess, to everyone except I just think it's pretty weird if I do it on camera. But anyway, point being is that let's go back to the questions. Our next one is anonymous, apparently. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I understand this question, but the question is, this is from my understanding, is it possible to start up with Boostorder only and not integrate with any other ERP?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think I understand the question, right? So basically the question is, can I only use, for example, the salesperson module or letting my customer to do a self-service, but no integration to ERP? Yeah, it's totally possible. We do have users who do like that, right? You can do that. Yes, the short answer. Yeah. But long answer is we always encourage you to look in having the integration to ERP because then it provides an extremely seamless and you can reap the full benefits, right, of automating and digitalizing your B2B centric business. Yeah. But yes, it is possible.
Okay, fantastic. Absolutely super. All right, so our next one comes from Liu. Now, Liu would like to know, Liu says, hi, by the way, is there any customized package for SQL accounting software cloud version for construction companies? As we are interested for the cloud version due to the fact that we're currently using SQL accounting systems with customized packages.
Yeah, so I think it's possible. We had a few discussions actually with a few guys. So do reach out. We would love to talk to you and to explore, how to move this forward. And we also work very closely with SQL. I think Desmond was here earlier giving talks, right? So we work with them on all these things. So we definitely is looking forward to explore on how we can make this happen.
Okay. All right, so we don't have any more questions for now. Let's just give them maybe 1-2 more minutes to type in if they do have any. So guys, once again, if you have any questions for TK here, just go ahead and leave it in the Q&A box. For now, we can just chit chat for a little bit. So TK, what are your plans for this weekend? I know, given the fact that cases are kind of rising here on and off in Malaysia, are you planning on going out or are you going to plan and stay in and, do your part?
Yeah, I guess we have gone through a lengthy MCO, right? I think we slowly resume back to our lives. So I guess you just have to put on the mask, right? And just go out, sanitize the hand a little bit more, and we should, go back to our normal life, right? With all this precaution that we got to do what we got to do, right? So yeah, go out, shopping malls, spend more money, revive the economy, I guess.
Fingers crossed so that we don't get sucked into wave 2. But of course, quick PSA for those of you who just entered the country. If you're supposed to be in home quarantine, please stay home. We don't want a second wave of COVID-19 here in Malaysia. Do your part, do the responsible thing, and we're proud of you. I hope that helps. Okay, oh wow, we've got 3 questions that just came in. We still have time, don't worry about that. Now, this one comes from Michael. Now, Michael's question is, does Boostorder provide any analytics for the sales team? For example, forecasting on future orders or sales trends?
Yeah, so analytics is something that we really start to invest. We have in-house analytic teams now. We are growing that. So these are probably like some. I'm just going to go through very quickly, right? So there's all these are a form of analytics, right? In terms of collections, in terms of visits, in terms of probably their performance, right? So these are all analytics and data visualizations because it helps you to spot the information, the important information that you want to basically get very quickly, right? Because you'll be like dive in like millions of rows of data of like your invoices and stuff like that, right? So things like, you can look at the breakdown of the salesperson performance, or look at like Mr. Wong here, right? And you can see that actually like, oh, apparently Mr. Wong only sell canned food, right? And he sold 1.3 million of canned food, right? To all these customers, right? And then like, yeah, and one, oh wow, who is the top customers, for example? I can just say that, yeah, right. Oh, okay, Lucky 99 Restaurants, looks like they are one of his big customers. And yeah, right. Yeah, he bought a lot of like, oh wow, okay, a lot of beverages, right? Something like that, right? These are really just examples, right? Yes, and we are collaborating with research institute as well to build intelligence. So that's within our roadmap, right? Of predictions of route planning, pricing optimizations, and stuff like that. So yeah.
Okay. By the way, is that a real person or is that just an example?
Oh, it's just an example, right?
Okay. I was looking at it. Oh, okay.
Right.
All right, good to know. Okay, the next question is from Yuli. Now, Yuli would like to know if she can get he or she, I can't just assume that, apologies, if you can get the PowerPoint presentations. The answer is yes. Give us up to the 13th of August and they'll be available on our website. So do check back. Now we have time for one more question. Now let's take this one. This one is from Nurul Afandi. So the question is, hi TK, is your system able to identify and alert business owners to ensure inventory keeping based from collective data from market velocity and demographic data stored from your system? If yes, how accurate is it by percentage?
Oh, wow. Okay. This is more like intelligence. Yeah. What we have now is based on the recurring purchase pattern, right? We kind of based on the repeat purchase pattern because B2B are cyclical. So we can prompt, yeah, in terms of accuracy, in terms of by percentage. That would be something that we are very interested to learn as well. But right now we just don't have it. Do reach out, right, to see what you're looking for, and we really like to talk to you more about this, right, because it's very interesting questions.
Okay, so I think that we can just squeeze in the last one here. Now, this person would like to know, can you share with us your user feedback after using your software?
There's a lot, right? So I'll just go back to like some of the feedback, right? For example, Bagos and Rightway, they are two of our earliest customers 3 years ago. The fact that we are SaaS, right, and you have to pay like ongoing subscriptions. So if they're not happy, then yes, they won't be paying for 3 years, right? That's all I can say, right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we do work very closely with our clients to make sure that our software really bring values to their operation. And being in a B2B centric business, it really means even more number and cents. Yeah, because compared to a consumer, a lot of it you purchase based on impulse, based on sentiments. But B2B, it could probably go that way. So yeah, we have been getting a lot of good feedbacks and also a lot of constructive feedbacks, and we take all this and try to improve our products over a period of time. Yeah.
Okay, and with that, TK, we're going to wrap things up here. I'd like to wish you all the best in all your future endeavors from all of us here at MDECA. We are so happy that you be a part of the SME Digital Summit 2020. Talking to you was just such a breeze. I thought we're going to have a problem with the next 20 minutes considering the fact that we finished early, but it was such a fun thing to do. We should do this more often. So thank you for joining us, and to everyone else who's watching, let's give him a big virtual hand. Thanks, TK. Enjoy your weekend, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Laureen. Thanks for hosting this, and thank you everybody for asking all the good questions. Thank you. All right.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.